Yes, I'm live here. Yeah, I'm doing a live video here because I got a different camera mount system coming in. So, anyway, I wanted to do a little bit of a live video on this Studio 77 lighter that I received in here the other. It's been a while back, I don't know, but it's a Studio 77 made in Japan, alright? Hold on here, I got something. Just a second here. I got some pop up on my screen. Okay. Kind of a, I don't know if you guys have been watching my videos for a while. You might remember, if you recall, I'm talking about a valve system. You know how it can get stuck if you leave it screwed down, you're storing it. What I want you to see in here, you can't probably see on the inside. But on the inside of this here goes a sponge. That's your pressure regulator. Then this goes in next, but pay attention to this. You see this right here? This is one of the smartest designs that I've seen out of the Japanese people when it comes to butane lighter. See, that spring there is on a ledge. This goes in behind the sponge. Okay? Yeah, let me get that. Let me get this. Hold on a second here. Let me get that out of there. And let me check the depth. I think I got that in the wrong part. I got that in the wrong part, don't I? No, it's in the right part. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, it goes down yay far. So, but what you got to do here? There's a ledge in there. The spring goes on. Let me try to press that in there because I got this part done already. There's threads in here, that's why it's making it going hard back down in there. Give me a minute. Yeah, another reason it's going hard back down in there is because I bent that a little bit when I was trying to get it out. That's the reason. I think I got it now. Yeah. Now see, watch this. Now usually when you screw your flame adjustment screw in, it's going to poke on this and stop the sponge. But if you'll notice, this comes back out. That is the best. I'm going to tell you what. This here, I'll tell you what, when you screw a flame adjustment screw in and you don't use it in a while, and the internal valves will sometimes corrode and they'll be stuck there. With this spring, this gives you a consistent flame adjustment. All right? Even if it gets a little grimy in there, this will give you a consistent flame adjustment. Screw back out of there because, or that spring back out of there because I need to put that sponge back there. There's that. I don't know what size the sponge that is, probably 2.5, I'm guessing. can find my 2.5s. There they are. Yeah, this is a quality built lighter here. I just wish I had got a metal tank, heavy duty built piezo. Look at that metal body on that piezo. Yeah, I go to a new camera mount system. That's why I'm not doing a video. I'm just doing a live video. Well, that's it. So we put that back down in there. Yeah, let me shove it down with this. It's much easier because it's got a ridge on it. There we go. Maybe that sponge was too big. No, it's not. I've got that sponge down in there. I'm thinking that sponge is probably sitting on the... Boy, I don't want to lose that spray. Yeah, that sponge is probably sitting on that ridge. Yeah, that's what happened. The sponge was sitting on that ridge, that spring. Guys, you learn you do this. I've never repaired one of these before. You learn something new every day. Could have used a little bit small. I'm going to use a little bit smaller for sponge, because I'm having to pack that down in there. I don't like that. Yeah, it's too big. So I'm going to grab one of these. Actually, I don't have to. I know I got one in here. It's cut in my little can. Right there. That'll work perfectly. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see it, but it's set right down in there. See it? That's a pretty good deal. All right, so we got that. Get that spring back down in there now. There we go. We're back to where we was. Now I just need to take this out and put a new O-ring on it. I don't know the size of it, but I'm going to just kind of measure this one. Let's see, it looks like we got a about 2.5 OD. I don't know if I got yeah, I know I got something. Question is, I just gotta find it. And I think that one's gonna be, yeah, let's try this one. I'm gonna try this one right here. I think 2.4. I'm gonna try this one, like I said. This one right here. Got the guys, the only place you can find these small O-rings like this is China. I know you guys probably hear some of this stuff and I keep repeating it, but the only reason I do is because there might be somebody on here that's looking this only just you know, found this video because they was looking for this particular light, or might be a first time viewer or what, but this is where these come from. It's the only place I can source them. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't say that looks good. You say, well, how do you test it? Well, you gotta go in this right here. Yeah. Could be a little, actually, that could be a little hard. You say, well, what do you mean it's going in there and coming out? Yeah, but that spring's got to be able to push that back. I don't know if that spring's got enough juice on to do that. Let's see here. One way to find out. Screw this valve in there. And, I think it does. But to make sure, I'm going to put a little bit of this is what I always use for greasing my O-rings right here. Napa part, Sil Glide, part number 765-1351. That's all I use. You say, well, why do I use that? Right down here. See this right above my fingernail there? -20 to +600 degrees Fahrenheit. You know. Then I'll tell you what, if you're going below that or above that, well, you're going to be in extreme circumstances. And I don't see anybody carrying a butane lighter in those extreme circumstances. If you're smart, you'll carry a petrol lighter with you. That made it a little bit better. There's that. Now, I put a new stopper in there already, but I think I might need to put a little glue on that. Sometimes you can't find the right stem size on these stoppers. I found the right stem size, but the outer diameter of the stopper was too big, okay? So what I usually do, guys, is just put a little bit of You probably can't even see it, but I just put a little bit of super glue on the end of that. And listen, guys, it'll come out if you need to repair it again, but it's not going to come out. You got to remember, this here's a sprung up. It's sprung to stay down. Okay. Sometimes these lighters got to be pushed down. This one here's sprung to stay down. Right in here, I don't know if you can see it, but it's your orifice. Let's do this here again. See the little orifice in there, the hole. All right. This, you can see the little marks on here I had. Well, I'll tell you what I did. I took this valve head out here. Remember I told you I bent this because it's getting the spring in? Well, if knowing what I know now, since this is pressure, I would leave that piece in there and squeeze on it there because it'll give you a little bit more support. But you can't squeeze on these things very hard. You don't want to. I mean, what I'm going to do now to put that back together, I'm going to take a stainless steel tube I got, if it's big enough round to go in there, and it isn't. It isn't. So let me try this. Sometimes I buy a little weird stuff like this, you know, maybe it'll work. Yeah, it'll work, I think. Well, it's kind of grabbing onto it. Let me see if I got something else. Well, I'll just do it like this. No, can't do it like that either. Well, I can do it like that. Okay. Seams back together. The only reason I even knew there's a seam there because the metal was different in color. Sometimes, guys, these seams on these here parts can be just so freaking precise that you can't find them. But if you look here, maybe, I don't know, according to the camera, you can see a little bit of difference in the color of these two. That's how I figured that this, because once I took this out, this wouldn't come out. And so I figured there's a seam there. So that's how I determined that this end piece comes off. But the problem was I tried to push everything out, but I couldn't push it because this part up here, you know, wouldn't go through because it's thicker here. So this part is pressure fitted on too. This part right here is pressure fitted on. And I didn't want to pull that apart because you take a big chance of breaking that little metal pipe. So I wasn't going to go that route. I was able to change the stopper and do all that. So there's a seal up in here, but you got to remember, if this is going to leak around that seal, it's only going to leak when you got the lighter going. Well, you know, it probably won't leak very much at all if it does, period, because a lot of times those don't even, the seals up around here, they don't even deteriorate like the ones below here because they really don't see what, you know, a lot of use or a lot of butane, you know. So they're usually in pretty good shape. All right. On these springs, I took this one off. Guys, you put these springs on. I took these off because, I took this one off because what I had to do is after I took that stopper out of there, I couldn't blow anything through this way. And I thought, okay, I got to blow it through this way. But I didn't want to put my can of butane over that spring. So make sure you grab down at the base of this spring with something before you pull off. You grab here and you stretch that spring, you're going to be in trouble. Your lighter probably won't light right. So Don't ever do that. Believe me, guys, that's stuff I just learned by being a bonehead and doing it, you know. So, if you guys try to mess with me on there, I ain't got that in front of me. I ain't going to see it. I'll probably see it later, but, you know, if you want to ask questions, go ahead and post them. Ask them later on here. All right. I don't know. This is the gas tank. I don't know. Well, this is what? I'm going to say 5.5 by 1. That's what I'm going to say. 5.5 by 1. Which is going to be, in this case, it's O-rings and more, and they're labeled 3.5 by 1. Because you double the cord size. Cord size being each outer dimension. The thickness of the cord. Looks good to me. Yeah, that looks good. Now they had a, believe it or not, they had an O-ring. Well, it wasn't even an O-ring. This is a square, like a flat rubber washer that went over this part here. Because this whole part goes down and actually seals right inside of here, around here. This here seal will seal around this part. So the only thing I really need to do on that is just maybe get the proper thickness is it. And I'm going to say a 1 millimeter. I'll say a 1 millimeter on that. 4 by a 3 or 2 by 1. Two by 1 right here. Now it's an O-ring. It'll work. As a matter of fact, I use a lot of O-rings on parts that were washers. I mean, you just can't find them small washers. Might have to be a little smaller. Let me see if it'll go in that tank. Yeah, it's going to have to be a little smaller in cord size. So I'm going to use come over here and grab the 8s. Now that says 4.1 OD. Let's get something a little smaller. .6. We'll do a 3.6. Because it would work if I could get it in the tank. The O-ring, don't get me wrong, it'll work if I can get it in the tank. But the problem is I got to go past these threads right here. You don't want to burger up the O-ring trying to get it in there. Now, that's going to be a better fit. See that? Let's see how that works going in here. Yeah, that's it. That's going to work. Okay. What did I do with my... back in here where I put it? I always try to put some stuff on them O-rings, guys. Sometimes you see me and I don't do it, but anymore nowadays, I'm just putting this on there. The reason is it'll keep your O-rings a little more pliable over a period of time. So, you know, that's probably burger here. Let me get some on this. Especially on your internal O-rings. Just don't get too much and get it in small orifices or anything. Your O-ring just needs to look wet. It don't need to have a bunch of that. You need to look at it and it just looks wet. Okay, that's it. All right. See how it's gone down in there? That ought to be good right there. Okay, this is your flame adjustment screw. You don't have to worry about that O-ring right there. I'm going to check and see if it's pliable. If it is, I'm going to leave it on there. Good thing I checked to see if it's pliable, because it's not. Of course, these O-rings here could be 40 or 50 years old. But yeah, this is cracked. You say, well, why did you not worry about it then? Well, I'm just saying because it's basically used as a cushion. What I mean by that is when you screw this screw in, it doesn't want to loose out. The O-ring helps, keeps them, keeps it tight against here, so it doesn't just want to back off too easy. Okay, I'm going to use, well, if I can find it, one. I think I'll use that one. No, I'll use this one. Yeah, I'll use this one. It's 1.5 by 1. Yeah. So I'll just screw that in there. Now I haven't rebuilt the filler valve on this, but I might as well go ahead and do it now. Then I'm going to give this valve a test. This one has a little pin on it too. You see this pin here, guys? See this pin here? That pin is actually stuck into this valve here. I can pull that out. I'm not going to, but if it breaks, listen, if that breaks on you, don't worry about it. You're just going to, because actually the pin's going to go inside. Let me show you. The pin's going to go inside the tube anyway, see? It's just pressing on this bottom part right here. So you just have to make sure that when you go over the head like that. I don't even need it. With this here plastic I got here, which is, I always like the plastic because it conforms to the shape of the valve a little bit better, okay, than the metal does. Metal will work, don't worry about it, but I'll buy either one, all depending. I've been buying this stuff. It's like 5 something a can. Butane's getting high, usually around 8 something. $7 to $8 after taxes anyway. Looks like we got I think what I terminate is repairable. Oh boy, I hope so. Yeah, it is. It's just hard coming. That's got to unscrew there. Sometimes you got to have a little help. Yeah, this is Well, I think this is a I call them non-repairables because they don't unscrew. Because I'm sure the guys that fix these lighters, if they need repaired, well, maybe it does unscrew. Yeah, it unscrews. All right. Oh, I'll tell you what, it don't unscrew very easily. Good Lord. I can see why. Yeah. That O-ring in there. I've seen little pieces of O-ring come out of it already. That O-ring in there was, good Lord. Yeah, it was dry. Really dry. Yeah. Now I gotta find something small to drill this to poke it out without bending that little tip on there. Let's see here. There we go. Little hole punch. Yeah. Yeah, that's all dried. That's all dried on the inside of that. Let's see what happens when I pull that out. Yeah, you can see it. Man, it's dried. It's hard. That was never going to seal. I don't know why I didn't measure that before I threw it in the trash can, but it is what it is. I think I know which one it is already anyway. It's going to be the same. Maybe. Let's see here. Nope. Let's do a 1 by 1. I try to see how you got that hole in there, guys. Butane's got to come out that, so you really don't. I'm going to do something else. 1 by 1 is going to be kind of tight on the inner diameter. So I'm going to look over here and get something that's, I think that might be it. 2.8 by, I'm thinking, hell, let's see here, maybe not. Three. I think 3's a little big. We'll go with this. We'll try this 2.6 by 0.8. You want that O-ring to kind of move around there, around that in part of this valve. I mean, it don't have to, it's got to move easy. If it's too tight, then you're going to have trouble getting butane in your tank. Yeah. Where's my multiplier? My wife's listening to her. channel. All right. Yeah, wow. I'll just put it over this. It's tight, but it just works. I like this little tool. And what did I do with that? Here. Yeah, I mean, this little tool works good. What you do is when you're done, you just squeeze them together. The little tool, see? And pop it out. Let's see how that works. Oh, yeah. See how that kind of moves? Yeah, that's going to work great. Let me get in here and make sure I don't have any dirty. Looks like there could be a little piece of little piece of the broken or the rubber from the last stopper. So yeah, you should wash these out anyway. Make sure they're clean. Yeah, there's a little dirt on there, not real bad, but it don't take much dirt to get a leak on this. Usually most problems, they come with a leaky filler valve. They're actually probably the easiest fix if everything else is working good. But if you're sending a lighter into somebody, they're going to charge you to repair it. You just guys, here's a rule of thumb here. If you got to repair one seal on a lighter, repair the rest, because they've been in there just as long as the ones you're getting. So it's just, you don't want to spend, $75, $150 to repair a lighter and have to send it again and get it done. A lot of people say, well, hey, can you just fix my valve? I'll be honest with you, I ain't gonna do it, because then you're gonna be getting a hold of me later, because I popped that off somewhere. Now I can't even see where it went. Good, there it went. Okay. Yeah, this seal is the same. It's a little bit better, but it's still a little hard. .72. Usually measure this 0.72 by 5. There's a 4.8. 4.8 by 0.74. That'll work. It ain't gonna hurt you to stretch them O-rings a little bit, guys. You just, you can get by with stretching them a little bit. But you don't want to stretch them too much or not get the right, too small in there, or too large. You usually don't want to go outside your outer dimensions on these. Of course, it all depends on what type of seal that you need. You can always kind of determine that by looking at your lighter when you disassemble it. We got some dirt there, so. Seems like, anyway. Let me see. Yeah, there's a little bit in there. Yeah. So, I want to get a little bit of O-ring grease on this for sure. There's silicone grease, I guess, for this anyway. Alright. Now put a little bit more on that, you know, because it's just going on threads around the O-ring. So these threads down here ain't gonna allow anything to, you know, to get in there. So you just don't want anything in your valve system. Let's see here. Okay, now we're going to do the test. Well, let's do the test after we get this part on. It'll make it easier. This is my activation lever here. See how it goes in there? And you got to find the little holes here to get your pin in there, line them up. What I need to do there is grab this. There we go. Now, yeah, all right. And this one had a little E-clip with it as well. So we'll put that back on. Okay, I got it started. A lot of times I'll just take this little, push them on. Tell you what, guys, I bought E-clips out of Japan or China too. Those things will walk away from you. They got legs on them. I don't know how, man. I'll tell you what. They do. All right, let's do a test here. Put a little butane in this. Bleed the air. All right. Yeah, I need to put an O-ring around that or something. Let me put a little rubber seal on it. Help keep some butane from blowing out. You know, something like this, you know. Stick it over there and see if that works. It works a lot better than not with it. Maybe. Don't give me nothing. Maybe not. I'll just go with this. Anything to save a little butane. Yeah, well. Gotta get the air out of there. I'm getting air in it now, so it's getting some. Let's see if this little adapter here will work now. I buy adapters for these lighters. I don't know if that'll work or not. No. Gotta find the right adapter. Or the right silicone tubing for that fact. Well, come on. Usually if I go through here and I find it takes kind of a special, you know, like adapter, I'll go ahead and include the adapter with a lighter. Oop, there it went. That's the one I want. All right. All right, so let's screw down the flame adjustment screw here. We got her. We got a good flame adjustment. All right. We got that. We got the easy part done. I tell you guys, now listen. I'm going to try to do this all, on camera here for you if I can, but this is going to need a cleaning. See how dirty that is. I'm going to do some cleaning on this. I usually clean them all anyway, but these old piezo's like this, I like to alcohol them up. I only use 91% alcohol, and I'm cleaning these lighters just so any one of you want to know. Look at all that grit in there. This lighter's seen some use. But metal tank. As long as the metal tank's holding, the piezo's still good. We're good. And the guy at work wants me to wants to get a lighter for his wife, but I showed him some I had, for sale on eBay. But, he wants something a little more feminine, and I understand that. So I'm going to fix this for him, and it's not the best of shape. I mean, the color, it's kind of faded, it's not a gold plate, but it's gold finish. But, guys, it's just seen wear. It's not bad or anything, but it's not pretty. So he's a pretty good friend. I mean, I consider him a friend, and if he likes it, I'll either just charge him a little bit for it, or possibly just give it to him. Sometimes you buy a lighter lot, and you sell one lighter. Like me, I might sell one lighter and after repairing it and making enough money. I've given lighters to people. I've worked on lighters. They might have sent me something couldn't get fixed. Listen, guys, I try to fix everything. Okay, I mean, even I'm down to even trying on, like I said, on plastic tanks. If you got a lighter has some, but only if it has meaning to you. I mean, I'll try. I mean, because I just don't have no plastic tanks. I've tried to learn how to repair plastic tanks, but guys, them a new acrylic they use, it's just, man, I mean, you just can't get it. I got a lighter in here, a Sappa lighter I got. I don't know, a Sappa 5 or something. I can't remember where I got it, but I think it came with a lighter lot. And I thought, man, that thing looked brand new. And it did. You took it apart, the inner thing looked brand new. It had a crack in it. I tried freaking, I tried the dual compound, setting stuff, and I couldn't get it to seal. So basically, all I got is I just got a part slider, And sometimes I've got into repairing lighters an hour or so into the lighter. I've done this for a gentleman that sent me a batch of lighters one time. I got into repairing a lighter. I get 2 hours into the freaking lighter, Found out they had a cracked tank in it, plastic tank. And I thought it, and I tried several times to fix it because I thought it was the filler valve had a leak around it. And I finally put some freaking magnifiers on. See, it had the hairline crack just outside of, let's just say this was plastic here. Just right outside here, just had a little hairline crack there. And there wasn't no way I was going to fix that. Now, I already sunk 2 hours of work in it, but I didn't charge nobody for that. You know, I mean, shoot, how can you charge somebody for something? It's like a mechanic. You want to take your car to a mechanic, you want to charge you $1,000 and he didn't fix the problem? Or even $200 or $50. Well, man, you know what you're going to think. You're going to be ticked off. And rightfully so. The guy said, listen, like me, I'll say I tried to fix it. Like me, I'll say I tried to fix it for you. Like on lighters, but it's different from cars. But yeah, obviously, right? But if sometimes I said, I don't know how good the fix is. I've done this before. If I can't guarantee a fix, I'm not going to charge you for it. I'll send it back and hopefully you can get some use out of it. But if it breaks, don't try to send it back to me to fix it again because I ain't going to do it. Because I tried the first time. If I could have done any better the first time I did it, I ain't going to do any better the second time. That's just the way it goes. All right. Let's see if I can figure out here. Yeah. I forgot, didn't I? Got to put this stuff back in here first. You know what I did, don't you? You guys seen that already? No, I didn't. No, it's right. It's right. I thought I put that back together wrong, but I didn't. I know my bottom stuff is falling out again. That's okay. We'll put it in last. Okay, I had to bend that out. I had to bend these to get them out a little bit. So I'm going to have to bend them now to get them to stay in. Then this is actually porcelain right here. See how some of that broke? Yeah, so that's in there just the way it needs to be. So what I'm going to do is get that put back in there. That rubber. But before I do, I'm going to super glue that. That porcelain broke, it is what it is. That stuff, what they kind of did, they super glued that on there, and on the insides of the track there. They super glued that on, and of course, me having to kind of spread that out, spread these wires out, to get that off. Well, you know what happened. It broke. Well, that's not really a big deal. You just put a little bit of this super glue right there. It'll take care of it, because there's chances are this thing, if it's taken care of, you're going to expire before it needs repaired again. If it's done right, guys, I give people warranties on the lighters that I fix. The only reason I do is that thing. Look at that thing. Keeps falling out. The only reason I do is make you guys feel better, because I send the lighter out, I let it set, make sure it ain't leak free. But, give you a little warranty. make you feel better. Because if the lighter doesn't leak when I send it out, it shouldn't leak at all. But it does. I think I might have had one or two back. I don't know what happened. Can't remember. And I'm pretty sure it was my fault. But anyway, we're good to go there, I think. Well, looks like that piezo is pretty good. Got a little air in the tank here, popping off. Oop. Now my pin come out. There we go. Well, looks like we're good there. So I'll stick that in like this because these want to pop out. See, actually, see, they got a hole that goes in there because this screw goes all the way through there into the piezo and holds this in. Alright, see what we got here. Probably got some alcohol in there too or something. It'll come out by the time I get done. I still got air in there, but there it is. This is, to me, is more of a lady's lighter. Simple. I might have to get in there and it's popping off good. And it'll pop off after you refill these guys. You want to let them set. Make sure you purge the air off on them. Yeah, it's sputtered. If it sputters, gives you a little sputter, then you need to bleed the tank and just get that air out of there. Yeah, I thought that worked. That's not the best filler valve, but it's still sputtering. Yeah. That's not the best adapter. I thought it was going to work. This one here has a little screw in. I don't like these, you know, just knurled. I don't like them for a simple fact that sometimes they can be a pain in the butt to get out. Pain to rear them at. It's probably not going to pop off right now because that once you feel that, don't, hey, these piezo lighters, now listen, the flint fired lighter is going to pop off on you. But these lighters like this, you know, got electronic ignition. They're a different breed. Don't expect them to pop right off after you fill them. Might have that adjusted too high, I think here. No, I got to get some more butane in and blow out the air and stuff. But anyway, guys, Studio 77, patented 86793 in Japan. I'll tell you, well, I know I don't have enough gas in there. See, that's what I hate about these lighters. I don't have fingernails. Well, I got one on this thumb. I try to keep that for work, and the other ones, my fingernails break off. And I don't use clippers. I just bite them off. Bad habit. Just did that when I was younger. My mom's got fingernails that's thicker and thick. Man, I can take my fingernails, believe it or not, I can work this fingernail and bend it over backwards. It won't break. They're just soft. That's why I can't keep them. Especially if I'm a hands-on work type of guy, what I do, so I can't keep them, and I'm not one of them guys that goes around trimming his fingernails either, so I just bite, you know, once in a while when I do bite them. I wish I would, though, because I tear it off right down to the quick, you know, and Anybody tell you done that, you know me, that's just the reason. It's just laziness, guys. Let's just face it. That's just laziness. Yeah, we're getting better on that. But it still got sputtered. Hear it? Sputters like that, you got air in it. The reason I'm getting a bunch of air in this is because I can't find the right adapter. So we're going to go off on this video and I'm going to find the right adapter for this, and I'm going to keep it with the lighter. But anyway, this is a quality, nice little lighter here. If I tell you what I would do, if I had a gold plate machine, I've thought about doing that, gold or silver plating, you know, some of these vintage lighters, because this is actually a beautiful lighter. It is, and it's a quality lighter. Very, very good shape. I've been thinking about that lately. Hey guys, I appreciate you tuning in. I know it's a live video. Let me get on here for a minute and see if you got any questions here. Did I ever make a metal tank for that Prometheus with the plastic tank? No, I haven't, Bold. Matter of fact, I got that Prometheus right here, and I'm going to tell you something. I tried to look for, but this here, this has one of the smoothest flint rollers things I've ever had, but this is actually a beautiful lighter. It's a Montana model. It's silver plate, but it's brand new when I bought it. It's been sitting in there for years, but I'd like to get a lathe or something, or a milling machine. But man, everything's so high right now, and I was wanting to mill a little tank for that because I had a plastic tank in it, and I couldn't get the valves out, and I ended up busting that tank up. And this was a beautiful lighter. I mean, a beautiful lighter. It still is. No, I haven't, Bold, but man, if you ever come across, listen, anybody out there ever comes across one of these Prometheus lighters, this is called a Montana, like this shape right here, and it's all beat up or junk, man, give me a holler, because I need a tank for this, you know, and I just don't want to go out and sink $1,000, $1,500 and get a milling machine and turn around and spend I don't know how many hours trying to make a metal tank for this. I thought about, you know, I've tried to sand, you know, parts down to fit, but guys, these tanks in here are like precision, and when you're going to make something like that, you got to have a precision machine, because I found out I just waste a lot of time sanding and grinding and stuff like that. And, you know, man, I remember I spent 15 hours on one lighter just to get it going, and I, you know, maybe not quite that much, but you get my point, you know. I got this here lighter here too, it needs the same thing. See this here? This here's a beautiful Imperial Bronica lighter. I mean, it's gorgeous. But look what, it had one of these freaking metal tanks in it, right? And it was, right around here where the bottom goes in, it was leaking. You know, because it's like, it's sealed in there some way. So I tried to seal it up. There ain't no way. I tried and I tried and I tried. Can't solder aluminum. See the glue they had in there on that? So I just finally tore it apart trying to figure it out. Then I had to, you know, because I had to get out the valve system to fix it. Well, this one here needs a new tank too. And this one wouldn't be too hard to make as long as you had the proper tooling to do it, you know, like a lathe or something like that. Because all I'd have to do is just mill the sides off here and mill the inside of the tank out. Then I can make a brass, this here piece that goes inside here, I can make it brass, and I can just solder that in and around that. But the problem you're getting here again is you got to have the right size threads, you know, to find the tap for the threads for the, no, this is kind of a, I'll tell you what, if anybody's got listen, guys, if you got an Imperial Bronica, and it's ugly, get a hold of me and I'll sell you these parts, because these are beautiful cases. They're like silver plated, beautiful cases. I got all the internals to it. Tell you what, I don't even want to put this back together because it's been so long. And here's another reason. I want to show you how this, I don't like how they designed this, okay? You say, well, why is that? Well, let's just say, okay, let me get this here. this is how this kind of went, like that. But this was kind of like, let me get something here. This here system was kind of like glued onto this tank. You know, you guys got one of these Imperial Bronica lighters, I don't even think I can help you on it if you want me to fix it, because this is the problem right here, is this tank. You know, I mean, it's tedious. The tank is the problem. But if you need new cases, I got this. Now, I'm probably going to charge you $40 for all that, but, you know, I can't hardly find, I've been looking for Imperial Bronicas on there. They want $80, $90 for them, and they are quality, real nice quality lighters. I was going to turn that one into pipe lighter. And, you know, and plus that's why I keep them around, in case I just think, well, maybe one of these days, I'm going to freaking find one. One's beat up or something, you know. Because I don't need the case, I just need the tank. But that's the way it goes. You know, these are some of these lighters, you know, like, you know, right, you know, this one here and that other Prometheus lighter. They were some of the first lighters. They've been sitting around several years here at the place, and I've never worked on before. So it's a kind of a live and learn deal there. But, you know, it is what it is. I got another lighter right here. This is a gentleman that sent me, he sent me a, let's see, his electric Calibri, all right? I don't know, okay. Then he sent me this here, beam sensor. But beam sensor, the beam sensor is sitting right here still. You think, well, what's going on with that? Well, I got the tank and everything working on this beam sensor. Problem is, I got a problem here on the board. And I got a bad capacitor. Well, I got to find a capacitor, and there's something else I needed too. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got to spend $130 on a tool to test these capacitors. You know, you got a tool like, what is it, induction tool or something, but you can test a capacitor inside the circuit. Well, I don't want to take, I'll tell you what, these boards on these beam sensors, guys, they're glued to the bottom. So you got to be careful taking them out. You'll crack them, then you'll break a circuit trace on the board. Then freaking thing won't work. Then trying to get to them. You know, there's two capacitors on here. I think a big one and a smaller one. I can't remember, but yeah. Well, I got one here that I think will work. But I just don't have that $130 tool. I've been laid off for a while, and well, actually, you know, the place I used to work shut down, but you know, closed permanently. But after 30-something years, but I've been kind of taking all any kind of lighter earnings that I get, you know, selling lighters, and just kind of dumping it in my wife's account to help out, you know. But the gentleman that owns that, he said, keep it. If you can't fix it, keep it. I told him, I said, listen. He gave me another one too. It's the touch sensor, right? I got the touch sensor going, so I gave it back to him. He paid me for fixing it. He said, keep them for parts, couldn't fix them. Well, you know what? I'm going to fix that lighter. I don't know when. But I also, too, that gentleman needs to email me back, you know, and respond to this if he sees this, because I tried to look for his email, told him that I still got this thing out here. I haven't gave up on it. It's just that I got to wait until I can buy that tester and stuff and get going. Besides, I got other lighters to repair. I got this. I repaired this one already the other day. Anybody wants a pipe lighter, you know. I just repaired this one. Let's see. So it's got a metal tank in it. Now it's not the best quality. You can see that the fit on it and whatnot. I had to kind of grind down on the little right up here on the brass so it fit down there better than this. Fits down flusher than it did. I mean, more flush with the cap, but hey man, you know what? I probably put $75 in there, but if anybody wants a pipe lighter right here, $50, give me a holler. You can't beat it. These are simple operating mechanisms too. And and you got the flame adjustment right there. You need to, but it is a little tough. That flame adjustment is a little tough. But it's kind of the nature of the beast on these things. Let me see, where am I at? I might need some more gas in that, I bet. But anyway, and I got this and been sitting around for a while. It needs a good cleaning or something, but this is this a John Sterling? Let me see here. No, this is just a 10-year guarantee crown lighter. Yeah, but this is the same as like them Kleber John Sterlings. You got the same mechanism in them. But they're just not you got to realize, guys, a lot of these lighter companies, they made lighters and they branded them, different names for different companies. I got a lighter here I haven't even repaired yet. This is a cheaper lighter, but it's got a metal tank on it. It actually looks new. Got a nice snap to it. You look down in there, it hadn't had much use on it. See the flint wheel there? That flint wheel's in good shape. Hardly any flint dust on that at all, so this thing hadn't been used that much. Yeah, this thing's been made in Korea. But, it's not a bad quality lighter. To me, that's a $50 lighter. If repaired, I'm going to stick $75 in it, and I'm going to turn around my time, and I'm going to turn around and sell it for $50. That's why, I make more money on repairing your lighter than I do on, because you know what? I know the value of a lighter. I mean, yeah, some people might say, well, that's too high. Well, I'll tell you what, $50 for that. Well, you know what, guys? Take a look on what you can buy now for $50 when it comes to a lighter, and you're going to get a plastic tank. Okay? To me, if I'm going to buy a lighter and I want it to last, I want it to have a metal tank. You say, well, why do you want a metal tank for? Well, let me see if I got it around here. I had a metal tank out here earlier. Probably not. It's probably here somewhere in the midst of all this mess. Yeah, right here. Look at here, guys. You see all that? That's a metal tank, buddy. These things, the only trouble I've ever had on a metal tank is I've had a little leak down in here. Leak maybe around the valve. It's just a solder problem. But the deal is on these is that, like me, you know what I do? I tell you, I learned a lesson. If you guys are out there and you got a leaky brass tank, or lighter, you get one that's got a leaky tank, listen to me on how to do this, because this will save you a lot of heartache, or at least troubles. I used to kind of like just put heat on this, I clean it up, and I put heat on, and I, put my solder down in there and started melting and whatnot, keep on it. Well, the problem is, sometimes you get overheated on that, because you left the heat on too long, you didn't get the solder on soon enough, and next thing you know, you end up with a leak over here, or a leak over here. Then you're freaking fixing leaks and fixing leaks and fixing leaks here, and one there and one there. Well, here's what you do. All right, let's just say we had a leak right down here beneath this filler valve area here, a little pinhole. All right, so what you're going to do is sand that down a little bit, then get your little, flux down in there. Then you're going to cut a little piece of small, thin wire solder, and you're going to lay it down in there. Okay, whatever much you need, you're going to know however wide your crack is, or your hole, or whatever you got. You're going to lay it down in there, and you're going to take a torch like I got right here. All right, and what you're going to do is you're going to put the heat right here on this case, on this outside case right here where my thumb is. And as soon as that solder melts, boom, pull that that torch away, And that will make it to where that hole right there is sealed. You won't get none of this here melted and leaking on you. I'm going to tell you what, I never had nobody tell me this trick. I had to learn this stuff. And that has made my life worthwhile, learning that little trick, just to be able to solder these tanks. I don't know how these guys solder these whole tanks without getting leaks on them, because it's amazing, because I've hardly ever find, out of 100 lighters, I'd wonder if I'd get one leak, but that's just pretty good, and I got these, I got this here I just put on eBay, this vintage Ronson. I had these on consignment in the place. I thought, put them in the coin shop, I thought, maybe the lady maybe she get some customers in there. Guys are. And I just went ahead and relisted this one back on eBay. But this looks brand new. It looks like all chrome. And of course, you guys have been on there, seen this one on eBay. This one's really kind of neat. It's got a little knife on it. And it's heavy. It almost, I don't know if that's a plating or what on that, but if it's a plating, it's a good plating. But to be honest with you, it feels like stainless steel, polished. It doesn't really feel like a chrome. It just feels like stainless steel. This is a ceramic lighter out of Japan. This is a quality lighter. Listen, I'm charging $75 for that on eBay, okay? Guys, if you sent me that to fix it, I'd charge you $75 to fix it. So you're basically getting a free lighter service and getting a free lighter. I don't know, to me, that's, you guys, some of these, I'm not saying you guys, but some guys go on there and they spend $50, $75, $100 for a lighter, and then they got to freaking take it out and get it serviced. I don't know about you, but not everybody works. There's a place out at North Carolina, ARS Lighter Repair, but they ain't going to work on old vintage lighters like this, because they don't have parts. So, and the reason is because, those guys, listen, guys, they're a business, and they might have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 employees, so they got to run lighters through there. Okay, they ain't going to have time to clean them up or anything like that. I've sent lighters to these guys before when I'm first starting out, and I had a few, I had some of these here Savinelli lighters here that, this one here is almost like brand new. Hardly any wear on it at all. Look at that. You can tell it's got any wear by that little trim here on that flame. Silver plates. It's in good shape. I haven't even gone through it. I'm just leaving it back here. I don't even know if I'm just not in a hurry to get rid of it unless somebody wants it bad. And I got some parts here for I am Corona Pipe Master. It's a Pizio shut on it. But then I got another, I don't know if I can make this a whole lighter or not, but it's a body for a Calibri dual flame, John Sterling Calibri dual flame. Then I got this old, look at it lit, isn't that something? It don't light every time, but it's kind of unique. I don't even know where it comes from. Probably lights every time you go real slow, or mostly. To me, that's just a lot lighter. And I got some other lighters in here. They ain't pretty, but I could fix them up. But I just keep them in case I need parts or tank or something, because I'm going to charge you for parts if I got to use my lighters. And this electric lighter, I think it's got a bad, I think it's got a bad capacitor in it. And this is the one lighter here that I told you about. That was the Sappa lighter. And let me put you back in here for a moment. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. You guys want to hang around and listen. I told you earlier this had a plastic tank. This is a good looking lighter. Yeah, it's got my fingerprints on and stuff, but you pull it off here. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, in order for me to get this, okay. Well, anyway, the crack's up here, right beneath the flame adjustment valve. I'm going to have to unscrew this little screw here. Yeah, little bitty thing to pull that out. But right up in here, I had a split right along. This is split. And I ground that down a little bit, you know. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll be okay because I'll grind that down and I'll put a little bit of this here Gorilla Glue in it, you know, this epoxy. Shoot. You guys got a better idea out there because this is a nice lighter. I mean, everything on it is new. You know, I mean, it's new. It just had a cracked tank. So if any of you guys got any idea how to fix a plastic tank like that, man, chime in. Because that's too beautiful a lighter just to be sitting around in, you know. Well, look, this was bought in somebody Roughing Incorporated or something, but 1877 to 1977. So, you know, you're looking about a 50-year-old lighter somewhere around there, possibly. So I got stuff like that, you know, and I don't keep a lot of lighters or anything around, but got kind of a mess on the desk here right now. But anyway, that's just a little food for thought. You guys out there, man, listen. You know what? If you guys got some lighters out there that aren't working, listen, guys. I really don't work on lighters like this. This lighter I bought from my brother. My brother bought it for me, and he passed away about 3 years ago, and so I keep it around. Actually, doing a little test on this. But I know this is not a Zorro. It's actually, what is it, Victor, made in China. But doing a little comparison on that as far as this goes. Okay, what's the date today? The 6th. Okay. See that? I filled that up. Here. Let me see what we got here. I'll go ahead, and I ain't done with the test yet, but I filled that up on both of them lighters on the 1st of August. Okay? Weighed them out. What they weighed. Each one of them. Then, you know, maybe a couple days later, maybe 3 days later, maybe a week later, I'd weigh them up again and see the loss on them. The column here, how much they lost as far as evaporation goes. The total weight of the lighter. Okay, this, you know, on each one of them. Now, when it got down to 828, the Victor copy, the Zippo copy, like it would, no, actually 817, it will not light, even though it was losing a little bit of, well, don't go by that. That's supposed to be 0.8 or whatever it is. But even though it was still losing, it would not light because I don't know. The wick wasn't getting wet or whatever. But you can see the weight loss on this, or as far as the loss, and you go over here and look at the loss. You see what I'm saying? From from 831 to 9.5, it lost 0.3 grams in there after weighing it up, and it's still lighting okay. Now, the reason I'm doing this record here is because I think I let that lighter here set for a couple months one time after I filled it up. It's either 2 or 3 months, I can't remember. But when I got it out, it lit. Well, it's not lighting now, is it? Okay, I might be out. I need to do that test. Yeah. finally gave up after about a month. But this, the reason I did that is comparison to how long this will last compared to like your Zippo, standard Zippo, because this has got this Zorro lighter here has got a little O-ring right around here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a black O-ring in there. It's supposed to seal up on the inside of your lighter right here. So these keep the air out better. So anyway, but I was opening this up and lighting it off about 5 seconds, so this is pretty well done right now too. So I'm going to mark that down tomorrow or something, or wait up. Later, it's getting late. I want to go and relax before I go to bed. But anyway, this is the lighter that Zippo should have made. It is. You can get these on sale. You go on AliExpress. I can pop this lighter off for $20. And this is heavy brass. That's when they're on sale. You might get you might have to pay a little bit more for this one here, but the shiny one's usually the cheapest one. Well, it's the cheapest one because, you get brass all polished up. You know how that goes. I used to have one, but I bought this afterwards because I didn't want all the fingerprints, or I didn't, want all the scratches showing up. I don't know what it was, but this here line, when you get these, they're like this. Look at that. You can hardly see the line. Matter of fact, I'll pick that. You can see it now, but when you got my eyes and far away, sometimes you got to look and find the hinge so you know which side to open. Yeah. Well, looky there. That lighter just gave it up. So it's today the 6th, so I'll write that down. But let's see. I think that's pretty much it. All I got to say or think about, You guys get any questions, send me an email, guys, to lighters, 2018, because I'm kind of busy right now, and I'll get emails before I'll get, questions on, responses, comments. I've actually missed comments and caught them a year later, so if you really need to know something, you're better off send me an email. Try not to email me, any more than you have to, because, there's a lot of people email me. I try to just keep my email for people that need service repair, that look for somebody to take care of their lighters that are not able, or, or don't want to, I can understand there's a lot of money if you want to do this right, because you're always making tools, buying tools or something. I remember one time I must have made $300 or $400 on lighter repairs, and I spent it all on tools because I was just struggling, And I thought, well, I was doing it on my time off, and, that's how. And another thing is, I don't ever ask for anybody, but you know what? Subscribe to my channel and like it, because I just got to looking the other day, 80% of my guys that watch my videos aren't subscribed. I don't pay attention to that stuff, and I'm monetized, guys, but I'll be honest with you. I think, let's see, you can look at my videos and see my subscribers, but I think what is it, Google, no, I don't know, the one that sends you money, YouTube, whatever it is. I think I got it to where they send me a payment after I make $100, and that's usually about 90 days. All right, so there ain't no money into this as far as for me. This is more of an information video, but it would, if I would get guys out there that would subscribe, it would help me to, instead of buying lighters on my own, out of my own money, to buy lighters off of you guys that are subscribed, so I can do more repair videos. So just keep that in mind, I just don't go spend a lot of money. Once in a while, I'll buy the lighter lot like I did. I bought this in the lighter lot. This came in the lighter lot, that little pipe lighter over there, that one there did. And I got a Dunhill roller gases all beat to poop up in, I just got it broke apart, and I thought, well, I'll fix it, and I thought, it ain't worth fixing. It just wasn't worth fixing. So I just sold the body on it on eBay. I sold the roller gas body, I think, what, $9. And I think I took all the gold accents out of it, you know, and it's going to sell it, you know, for like somebody wanted to take a lighter and put gold accents on it, you know. Yeah, you know, $55 for that. Heck, these parts alone or separately are worth more than that. And I can't think of what else I've done. But yeah, I think I kept the. I tell you what, I never listed it. But I do have. Where's my? Just give me a second here. I think maybe they're right here. Yeah, well, I do have these valves. I had 5 valves. Let's see, 3. There's 5. I got them for sale. Let's see. Them's just some repair parts. And there's an extra little, goes on top of your pipe lighter. And some there. And let's see here. I think it's over here maybe. There, right here, look at here. Dunhill roller gas. Should take it out of the plastic. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. But this here is a platform with the flint housing on it. This is an old platform, but this is complete and worked. I took it apart, cleaned it up. If anybody needs something like this, I'll sell the whole unit the way it is. I don't have no need for, you know, because I tell you what, if somebody's going to need anything, they're going to need a flint housing, because that's the first thing. Well, I don't understand it. These freaking flint housings don't need Dunhill roller gases, the older ones. They're not going to take you guys leaving your flints in there. And if you leave your flint in a Dunhill roller gas lighter like this, and you put it away 3, 4, 5 years, and that flint gets moisture in, and then it starts expanding, you're going to have a cracked flint housing. So you store your lighter, take the flints out of it. That's the first thing you want to do, is take your freaking flints out. To me, it's more important than drain your butane tank, you know, or drain the tank, because you can repair the valve system in it, but you can't repair a split flint housing. Keep that in mind. All right. Let's see. I'm going to scroll through my messages here. Hey, Blake Hill says, I appreciate it, Blake. You're not going to get a like. Hold on here. You're not going to get a like. Well, whatever. Somebody said bet. Devil dog, bet back. Ball, did I ever fix that? I answered that. I'm going to get my readers on here. Edward, is there any butane lighter with a metal tank on the market for purchase at all, or do I have to fix up one myself? Well, Edward, what I would say on that is I am Corona out of Japan. Their lighters are, like their old boy. There's a pipe lighter. Then they have I think they sell lighters like an old boy, but it's a vertical flame as well as a horizontal. But I am Corona. Let's see, certain Ceromes, usually if you get a lighter that's got a metal tank, you're going to pay more for it. Just keep that in mind. And another little thing that you can just email somebody and ask them, or if you got a question like that, you're interested in a certain lighter, and you can send me an email and I can answer that for you if I know. But usually if you call the place that's selling it, or like if it's a lighter shop or something, they should know that, have that information for you. But I Am Corona too does make what they call a slim lighter. And it looks just like this here. If it's an older version, or I mean, this is an older version. The newer ones, or the ones I'm referring to, they look like this, but they're slimmer, and the flame comes out the top if you don't want a pipe lighter. Those have metal tanks in. Believe it or not, they're probably about that thick. I mean, they ain't very, and they got a metal tank in them. They're kind of a nice little lighter, especially if you want a lighter, like a really slim lighter to put maybe in your, let's just say your little coin pouch in your jeans, or maybe in your vest on your suit or something like that, whatever. They make slim lighters out there for that. There's so many variations of lighters, guys. It's just. I mean, it all depends on people's imaginations. It surprises me some of the times that I look at these lighters and I just think, wow, man. I tell you what, guys. One thing I always do. I don't care if you're younger than me or you're older than me. If you got something, I learn from anybody. I ain't I'm not egotistical. I don't care. How old you are, how young you are, you're going to listen. Because think about it. All these lighters, all these designs, they're different ideas from different people, different companies. If we all work together, I think this world would be a lot better than it is now. But, people are just, let's just face it, guys. People are inherently selfish, and that's just the way it is. I mean, everybody's selfish. I'm selfish. We all are. Some people, to some extent more, and some others not so much. But that's just the world we live in. It's just the way it is. It's just the world we live in. Good people, especially good fathers, and good mothers, good parents in general. They really sacrifice, for your kids. Usually when you're young and you don't think about nothing but yourself. When you get a little bit older like me, I definitely think a lot better, a lot differently now than when I was 40, even when I was 50. But it is what it is. Time will teach you a lesson if you won't learn it yourself. But if it's got to teach you a lesson, then just learn it. Don't forget it. But let me go down here and see if there's anything else that I can read from somebody. Okay, that's listen, Edward. All my lighters that I sell on eBay, let's see, all that I got now, they all have metal tanks. Okay, all have metal tanks. And if it didn't have a metal tank, I would label it as a plastic tank. Okay, just so people will be aware. But because I'll sell, if I got a lighter in here that's decent, even though it has a plastic tank and it repairs and it works good, because some of the really nice Calibris guys have plastic tanks in them, but they're really good quality. It's just that I can't guarantee if I repair it, like put new seals and stuff in it, you send it back later on and it's got a crack in the tank. Even though you might have paid me $50, $75, whatever it was I charged you to repair it, there ain't no fixing it. So that's why, to protect your investment, and a lighter is an investment, really, because you want to buy something that's going to last the test of time. You don't want to buy something. You don't want to spend $50. Let's face it, guys, you want to spend $25 on something that's only going to last you a year or two. Because if that's the case, just go out and get you one of these. When the butane's out, boom, throw it away. You know that. Shoot. Yeah, I don't know. To me, if you're a cigarette smoker and you just lighting cigarettes, shoot, there ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you just like to have a nice lighter, like sitting on your table or wherever you're smoking your cigar or pipe or maybe your cigarettes or something, you just kind of like to have something nice, maybe when you go out or something. Yeah, pick up your nice vintage lighter. Now, you can buy an ST DuPont too if you want to spend the money. I've worked on some, and I'll tell you what, I worked on one here a while back. It had a big tank on it, and it was just one of your normal shorty squat ones, they're kind of square. I was surprised. I think that thing had like 6 or 7 grams of butane in it. You know, it's had a big tank on it. Yeah, all these lighters right here. Every one of these lighters right here. Even this here, listen here, even this, this is a pipe lighter, but it's got a metal tank in it. And this lighter here, I am Corona, metal tank. But this one, plastic. But I'll tell you what, metal tank in this pipe lighter. Metal tank in this lighter. I'll tell you what, plastic tanks in these type of lighters, I don't worry about these plastic tanks in these lighters. I don't know how many of these I've had over the years, maybe 20 or so. I've never seen a leak in the tank. That just goes, it has a lot to say about, design and manufacturing too. But I'll tell you another thing. That Sappa lighter there. I got a Sappa lighter here. Look at this. This is a Sappa 21. I sold a lighter like this, the exact same lighter, except it was gold. You can see this little pattern on here. Well, this pattern is just war. And this used to be silver plate. You can see the brass starting to show through, especially on the sides. See it? This lighter has seen some use. Look at that. But you know what? That cap works perfect. It's just a little burgered up right here, but this thing works perfect. I don't even have a valve in that. And when you go to change the flint here, like you turn, what you do on these, that's what you do to change the flint. Flint's right there. And another little goodie, when you, like say if that was lit, or the gas doesn't come out. When you open that lid up, it's got a little, it pushes down on a little pin down, and it pushes on the stopper and stops the gas. So you're not losing gas. I could sit that there all night long, leave it just like that. Come back in the morning, put a flint in it if I needed one, and light it right up. These are, to me, probably some of the, these are quality lighters. This one here is marked Sappa, but these will come in Mark Cross and John Sterling. But they're all made by Sappa out of Italy. And you say, well, what's great about them? Well, look at this. I've never seen anything like this in my life. See that brass there? I cut this lighter up. It was beat, and I needed to use parts of it. That's the top part. This is the bottom part. This is the reason I cut it up. I needed that because I was putting valves in there and I was knocking the valves out, because I needed something to thread. I needed to hold the valve in there, and the only way to do it was with the threads, so I can knock the inside of it out. But look at that. Look at the thick of them brass on them walls there. Now, I'd like to know how they made this, but this thing, the only way you're going to squeeze that, look at the thickness of that. I tell you, I could throw this thing in a brick wall, and I think it'd survive. The only thing that wouldn't survive is the cap, because, it's thinner. But this lighter here, I just keep it at the house. I don't know why. I just really don't want to sell it. It's not that pretty, but if someone wanted to offer me money for it, I'd sell it. But to be honest with you, it's worth more to me in parts than probably what somebody'd want to pay for it. Because right now, I've been scouring around for one in silver plate, and I can't find them. And when I do find them, you better get out 2 bills plus, sometimes 3, because they don't make these anymore. And these things are, I don't know if it's my videos coming out making these things higher, or me selling on eBay and getting a good. I sold that. You guys probably look on my YouTube channel. You'll see that one. Here's what a $200 lighter looks like. Well, that's what this lighter looked like back in the day. Okay, but like I said, this has been used, but it's still going. I'm gonna tell you something. I'll guarantee you. I would just bet, and I'm not a betting man, but this lighter here, if you was 20 years old and you lived to be 80, this lighter is going to carry you through to that point, even in the condition it's in right now. These things are just solid. And like I said, look, it's a little off right here, you see? A little off right there. Got a ding there. But the cap still feels good on that. It's solid. There's no, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just, maybe it's just a solid brass, but it's still got a good feeling. But anyway, that one that said that it's got, this is what a $200 lighter looks like. Well, I'd say right now that lighter is probably $300 a bore. But that guy bought that lighter, he was a happy camper. He come, man, he just loved it. And it's a beautiful lighter. I look at the video every now and then. I thought, man, if there's a lighter I should have ever kept, it should have been that one. But hey, you know what, guys? I don't collect lighters. I don't even smoke. You know? These are some filler valves I got. Yeah, if you guys ever need a filler valve for a Sappa 21, I got one. Yeah, I got a few Sappa parts. But anyway, that's a good, if you guys want to me, if you put one of these lighters down with any of these here that I got, I'm going to tell you what, this thing here, this lighter here, the Sappa or whatever version you buy, it make you got collectors for Dunhill roller gases. In my book, a Dunhill roller gas won't compete against that lighter. Okay, now you can go out there and you can spend your money on an SD DuPont, and if you got plenty of money and you can spend $5,000 on a lighter, well, that's fine. But I'll be honest with you, it might impress your friends, but it ain't gonna impress me at all, because I could get you a better deal. But that's the way I think. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy things to impress anybody. I buy things that I like and I feel that are a good value. But that's me. You know, that's just the life I grew up with, and everybody's different. You know, that's just the way it is, and that's the way it's always going to be. But I got this in with a little lighter lot. This has a plastic tank in it. I hadn't even worked on it. This thing works. I just keep it around like with this here, just for if I need to light a lighter, like I just did earlier, repairing this one. And look at there. All right. But yeah, most generally, but this newer stuff, I tell you what, I had a Colibri 8800. Man, it felt like it was good. Felt good and heavy. Worked on it. Man, it felt good, So I took it apart. I had a little cheap plastic tank in it, and it was small, and it was mostly, the reason because it had the heft to it is because everything was cast, But it was a piece of junk. Had a Pizio in there. Don't ever buy one of them Colibri 8800 freaking lighters, guys. They're freaking junk. Colibri must have been just kind of changing over. Colibri company, is passed down. It's got this, same name, but everybody's bought it, Like, I don't know how many people it's passed down to, but the problem is, too, you get these companies that go out and they buy other companies, and a lot of times, there ain't no parts for these anymore. If you want a part for some of these vintage lighters, that's why I say buy them, fix them, take care of them. One guy up and says, where do I get parts? I said, you don't. You got to find another lighter like it if you want a part. I've had to do that. I don't know how many times I've had to buy a lighter, and just, man, I needed a part, so I had to, buy another lighter like it. And I'll tell you what, one time I bought one of these, like I was saying earlier about one of these, and it had a broken activation lever in there. If anybody knows about these, there's two little levers on the side that's got rollers on. When you pull this down, when you push down your button here, it opens up the valve. Well, one of them was broke. So here I had a nice, and it was a tall Savinelli, okay? It was a tall Savinelli. So what I did is I had another one that had a bad piezo. So what I did is I stuck the broken part out of the tall Savinelli into this one, like one this size, with a bad piezo, and I sent it in the ARS lighter repair out of Henderson, North Carolina. Yeah, they replaced the piezo and the other part in there, but by the time I got it back, you're looking at $75, $65, $75 to ship it, whatever it was, plus 13. You know, they ship out signature confirmation, which if I sell expensive lighters or anything, I send them out signature confirmation too. But yeah, so I did that just so I can get new parts in, you know. Well, then I started getting in some older lighters, and I've been kind of keeping them around. And I had parts, but I don't have those parts anymore for those Savinellis, because I had a guy that bought all of my tall Savinelli pipe lighters. He bought the whole batch of them. And Robert, and no, that was another guy. Yeah, Robert. But there's another Robert, too, I was thinking about. But anyway, he bought them all, and he kind of works on his lighters. So, you know, the gentleman paid me a premium for those lighters, too, because he's got a collection. Maybe if later on I could edit that video and put a picture at the very beginning of his. He's got an impressive IM Corona collection. Tall pipe lighters, I mean impressive. He sent me and he's a good man, you know. He helped me buy new video equipment and stuff. He sent me lighters that he bought. Thanks again, Robert. I'll never forget this. I've repaired them and turned around and sold them. He says, put it towards your camera expense. I was talking earlier about I need to upgrade my camera, you know. And one time he sent me an IM Corona LEC. I think that's how you pronounce it. It was gold. It looked like it just come right out of the manufacturers. He sent that to me as a gift, and I thought, holy moly. You know, I really appreciated it, but what I did was I converted it into a pipe lighter for him. I sent it back to him. I said, listen, I mean, the LEC is a pipe lighter, but it's a 45-degree flame. I turned it into 90 and sent it back to him. I said, man, put that into your collection. I said, I appreciate your generosity, you know, but I think it belonged with him. And he says he uses it quite a bit. So anyway, I appreciate all you guys that do things for me out there. I really do, you know. I mean, I'm just not the type of person just take. Once in a while I'll give. I had a guy sent me a lighter. It was one of them Japanese companies that make lighters. I can't remember the name of it, but they're kind of like, they make lighters like the IM Corona Old Boy and stuff. But I didn't like the design of it. He wanted to trade it in for, I can't remember what it was. It was one of them Sappa 21 lighters. I helped the old boy out. I took it in, and, you know, I turned around and sold that lighter. I kind of fixed it up and went through it anyway to make sure everything, it was in good shape in a box anyway. But I don't like those as much as to boot. I can't remember, the company starts with the T, I think. But I don't like those. If you're going to buy one, buy the Corona series, because it's where the valve sits for the flint wheel and the valve. It seems like the valve for the pipe lighter is sitting ahead of the flint wheel. I just don't think the ignition was as good as an IM Corona Old Boy or anything like that. You're going to be hard pressed to buy anything that isn't good from IM Corona. Now, I did work on a lighter I sold one time. It had a plastic tank out of IM Corona. I fixed it. But when I was fixing it, part of the little platforms where it took a pin kind of broke. And I did able to super glue that together. But, and I sold that, and that was like a $200 lighter. But I sold it to the guy, and he liked it, you know. But I'll tell you what, I sold it $6, $7, $8, I don't remember what it's for. I sold it for cheap. But I got it for cheap, I think. I don't know what I got it for, but it doesn't matter. But I didn't lose any money on it. Probably didn't gain much, if any. But he loves it. He likes it for it's a torch flame, but he liked it for, sparking up his cigars. And I understand that. It was a nice looking lighter, it really was. But the only way I can fault it is it had a plastic tank. And like I said, during repair, you know how, on certain lighters, you'll get little, they got a hole in it. You got some little plastic things and you got to shove a pin in it. And once in a while, if you don't get something in there right, or you put the pin in wrong or whatever, sometimes they'll crack that plastic. So when you're working on plastic tank lighters, just make sure that, you're not forcing anything. Be gentle as possible. I'm not that, when it comes to lighter repairs, I'm not always that gentle, so I got to be extra careful with these plastic tank ones. But I don't buy no more plastic tank ones if I can get away with it. But sometimes when you buy a lighter lot, guys, they throw in some of them cheaper lighters too, Sometimes I'll just buy a lighter lot just to grab parts out of certain lighters and keep a stock of parts around, because it's like, let's just say, for instance, let me show you something here. You see these lighters here? These stick lighters? Well, I was trying to convert that in where I could strike it like a flint, But heck, I've used, I don't know how many, filter valves out of these. These lighters are brand new. I converted these over to pipe lighters. Some of them use it out here, but they're good for candle lighters. You know what, guys? I think I gave one of these to a guy. Guy came by here at the house, and I got a bunch of them down in there. I got green ones. Let's see what these are. Well, there they are. Just, I got them. I got the green ones with the gold accents. I just got them sitting there. I use them for parts. If anybody wants one of them for a pipe lighter, holler at me, I'll convert one of the pipe lighter for you. They're kind of hard to see. They got a little, excuse me. They got a little flint thing right there. You really got to be able to see it to be able to turn which direction. And when you see the little red dot on the end of it, I think that means you got to be able to see that, and you put it back in so your flint's firing the right way. But anyway, then I had that one. I was going to convert it. Yeah. What I was going to do is I was going to put a little pipe valve in here. I was going to put a little round piece of steel in there. I was going to use this here to strike it on there so you can strike it like a match. But I ordered some of these ferro rods, and the ones I ordered were freaking harder than a brick. They're junk. So I got detoured on that. And I always got something else to do around here, so that's probably something that's just going to sit in my drawer. Anyway, guys, listen, this video has probably lasted a lot longer than most of you, or a lot of you hang around here, but let's see, who else? I'm going to answer up. Check out all these messages before. Okay, yeah, Edward, my lighters on eBay have metal tanks. KTM Garmer 1, Tony Stark, question, whatever. Preston Qualls, love my little pipette you fixed for me. I use it every day, no problems. Hey, Preston, I appreciate it. Listen, everybody, have a good evening, good Saturday. And if you got any questions, like I said, send me an email. I'm able to catch it quicker than I will if you post a comment. But post a comment, too. Okay, I just don't check my comments. If you're not in a hurry, post a comment. But listen, here's another thing too. If you do post a comment and I don't answer, I could have missed it, because like I said, I went through my comments and found some that's a year or two old. I just missed them. So, if you really need an answer and you post a comment and I'm not getting one from you, send me an email. All right? Well, listen, everybody, appreciate you stopping by there for a little bit, but, you know, everyone out there, just take care of yourself and enjoy life as much as you can. Well, I'll holler at you another time.